and then ran and jumped and lynched himself down. And that could happen. But one way or the other, that's historically what took place. Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. All right. Unless you leave yourself with contradictions in the Bible, be able, brothers and sisters, to make, if they, I say there's a dichotomy, a non-dichotomy, or dichotomize it. Okay? Be able to do that. All right? Because even if you're talking about places where Christ went, there were two places named the same thing. And you'll find that in the Bible too sometimes. Now, but let's look at staffing. Let's look at staffing, how their method of staffing was. And verse 19, and it became known to all who were living in Jerusalem, so that in their own language, that seal was called Hakenkama, that is the seal of blood. For it is written in the book of Psalms, let his homestead be made desolate, let no one dwell in it, and let another man take his office. In other words, somebody else needs to fill his position. Now, let's look at staff. Keep in mind now, we talk about staffing people in your church. Keep in mind, a vacant has taken place in your church. You need to staff the best man possible, or best woman possible. I'm dealing with staffing. I don't want you to lose focus on what I'm saying. Therefore, it is necessary. Positions need urgency. Necessary. You don't just staff people unless there is position that necessarily needs. Some positions, when it closes itself. I could have given you a good example, but it might take a little long. I was out here at this church. We tried to get this facility out here, and of course racism prevented us from getting the facility at. You know, some of you might know where Hamilton Road Baptist Church is. Because Celestial, the church right next door, worship out there when their church was burned down. And I knew the preacher, he told me, that building would be vacant. So I went out there to the church. The white young man said, as far as I'm concerned, he could have the building tomorrow time the other church left. Later on, I called back and they said, well, we have decided that we're going to try to get an Hispanic ministry to come in. So he didn't find it necessary for black groups to come. But now, we find necessary in your church that you have to have ministry. Okay, watch this. That the men, now watch the kind of person they got. Watch this carefully. That of the men who have accompanied us all the time, that the Lord Jesus went in and out among us. So, what kind of person did they choose?
The one that had been with them from the baptism when Jesus was baptized by John, and had been with them, had seen him after the resurrection.
All right. Now, here's something I'm going to bring to your attention. That's why in your church, before you up and ordain a fresh comer, a newcomer, don't overlook the ones that have been there with you a long time. Yes. That's the point I'm trying to make with you. Now watch this. Beginning with the baptism of John, that's what she said, and I won't have to read that. So they put forward two men, Joseph called Barsabbas, who was called Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed, prayer ought to be a part of your staffing. Prayer. Pray for those people who you ordained to be. And said, you, Lord, who know the heart. Now, only God knows the heart. But see, if you work this thing together in staffing, saying that God knows the heart, if it comes back and the church say, this man or this woman is not who you think he is, all of you that were part of the staff will at least say, we Okay, we're going to come back to this. Thank you very much. We're going to come back to this, and then I have a couple other things I want to talk about.